Welcome to Unlocked, an NAMFS Podcast, Episode 8, Innovation in Action.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining the NAMFS Podcast this afternoon. Before we get started on our technology topic, we'll start with introductions. My name is Kelly Chambers. I'm the President and COO of G7 Service Group. We're a national property preservation and inspection company. Kayla.
My name is Kayla. I am the Assistant Vice President of Preservation at Innovative Field Services. We are a regional inspections and preservation company based out of Long Island, New York.
Great.
And I am Eric Miller. I'm the Executive Director of NAMFS, and we're excited to talk a little bit about technology.
Great. So in looking at the three of us today, I think it's safe to say that all of us have seen property preservation industry evolve from Polaroids, pagers, to digital data, and most recently AI, a new hot topic. In today's podcast, we're going to explore how technology helps us be more efficient and potential cost savings. So with that, let's start with Kayla. Which recent tools or software have materially improved the quality or speed, and what measurable lift did you see in your organization?
So Verisk has really been great in kind of streamlining our processes between our processing teams, our office staff, and then to our clients. ExactPRM in general. I started on the bid team at Innovative 12 years ago. So I was doing bids in Excel sheets and, having to pull from RepairBase and other types of estimating softwares, paste them into it. So ExactPRM in general has been incredible for Innovative as a whole. Being able to put together quick estimates and whatnot has been super helpful to also train our staff. Also, just having the PPW Connect and a lot of our clients moving over to that platform has been great. We are able to streamline our processes, push them right through so our clients can receive results way faster than they ever have before.
It's great. Eric, how's NAMFS working with software and tools with the membership to help educate them on efficiencies they can gain?
Yeah, I think from a NAMFS perspective, we've one of the big things that we brought forth was there's a product out there called Earth Visions. It's weather related, and so one of the things that we saw as a problem was real live time results, weather results, and how it impacted the industry in the field. And so we've gotten involved in that, had numerous conversations as an association. We have our own kind of it's called vAlert, and it's vAlert for NAMFS members. It's something that they're able to utilize. It sends real-time weather alerts to them for any kind of weather that's happened within 50 miles of their office. And the real nice thing about that, especially as it relates to lift, is for everyone in the field, it can actually, it's able to sense, or determine how many inches of snow perhaps has fallen in an area. You can kind of put together a matrix, and then it'll actually issue work orders on your behalf so that that work can get out to the field and there's not lost time. So definitely a real game changer. And I think there's a lot of things on the horizon for sure. As you mentioned, Kayla, Verisk has got a lot of things in production and then also in development.
Kayla, you had mentioned ExactPRM. We utilize ExactPRM to justify our bids to our clients, and also do a QC on the vendor in the field, the bids they submitted. And our findings are that the vendors in the field significantly underbid. And with the pricing initiative and everyone, requesting more fees for some of the routine tasks, I find that they can often increase their pricing just by bidding more appropriately and using that data to help them understand correct pricing. So we're a big fan of the ExactPRM tool for those reasons. Where do platforms fall short with bids or photos or data or reporting today, Kayla? And then how do you fix those gaps?
Our industry, as we know, is not a one size fits all. Every area of the country is different. Every property is different. And then, on a very, very small level, every work order is different. So it becomes difficult, in my opinion, to relay all of the information back to our clients in a way that we know gets read and digested correctly. There's a lot of emails that go back and forth that sometimes can get lost, or certain people are not put on them. I would love to see some sort of maybe messaging system within PPW. So that's where I would like to see some sort of improvement, is the communication back and forth between us and our clients, to make sure things don't get lost, because every single situation is so different.
Eric, where do you see gaps, or where do the membership see gaps, and how do we fix those?
Yeah, I think from NAMFS point of view, the probably the single biggest challenge as it relates to platforms is the differences in what is the same type of work that we're out there trying to achieve or complete, be it inspections, preservation, or anything like that. NAMFS is really big on finding some standards that are out there. And then that way, there is not this particular question in this particular system, and then it's something completely different. And again, then when it rolls up into each one's maybe a national system and then ultimately to a client system, it leads to a lot of inconsistency. So we'd love to see, the industry come together, standardize, what is an inspection, what are the property preservation, PCR, property condition report. And we've done that. We just now need to get adoption. And I know, especially with some of our clients, or some of our members, sorry, not clients, some of our member companies, we're actually getting them to publish the NAMFS standard inspection form and property condition report. And we hope to continue to move that up the ladder through the industry, possibly even engaging with MISMO to try and get something better than what we currently have out there.
It's a great initiative. How are you using data today to make decisions? And what SLAs or dashboard reports do you have to alert you, Kayla?
So right now we are primarily utilizing the PPW Insights, their new program that they've put into place. Joe and I, at the 5-Star Conference, Joe's our VP of Preservation, we met with Matt Zaldowski from Verisk and a couple of their team members, and he showed us how important this Insights tab was, and how we could use it to our advantage. So since then, we've been working in it quite significantly. Joe, Lenny, and I, we meet every week. We go over trends. We have direct conversations with our contractors. We utilize it for follow-ups, for bid submissions. We see where maybe we can improve on obtaining bid approvals. It lets us know what line items we may need to talk to our clients about that we don't see approvals coming over, where we're actually putting those bids in for. We used to have to do everything through Excel, and we have some Excel, connoisseurs in our office, but it just becomes so time consuming and cumbersome. So this function has really expedited our process for sure as a regional.
Eric, do you have an example where data helps drive decisions?
Well, I think, what we talk to our members a lot about is, being proactive instead of reactive. And a lot of the data that's out there in technologies, it can check on work order aging. It can do things like, looking at return rates, photo rejections, those types of things that you can actually put into the system now that ultimately lets you make better business decisions as to maybe if there's a training that needs to be held, if there's a particular vendor who's missing, as we've talked a little bit before in other previous podcasts, missing allowables that are out there. Those things that are really going to be critical to your business and, your overall, client satisfaction. So those are kind of some things that we really think that people should be using the technology to do, be more proactive instead of reactive. So that's kind of our focus.
That's great. Kayla, both of you. Kayla, let's start with Kayla. If you had a modest budget for one technology purchase or innovation this year, what would it be?
It would be a smellometer. I want our clients to be able to smell what our contractors smell in the field. No, on a serious note, I would love to see some sort of system that can point out and highlight damages. Our bid team, we have an in-house bid team that goes through all of the photos, points out issues that need to be bid and repaired, but maybe something that our contract orders that are not always, QC'd 100%, can go through a system that points out damages that people are not looking at. It would still require a level of QC on our end, but it can point out concerns that maybe we missed just while shifting through hundreds and hundreds of photos.
That's great. What about you, Eric? What are you hearing from the membership?
Yeah, I think it's really it's standardization is kind of what we're hearing from the membership is, if we can kind of get some things along those lines, we get repeatable results. And then again, platform we're platform agnostic, is kind of what's out there. They'd love to see something where those different systems, divergent systems speak to each other as well. A little bit more challenging, but like I said, standardization is really the key that they're looking to drive. Understanding, hey, this has happened. That eliminates maybe the need for going out and walking an entire property, because the property is occupied. Those types of things. So, kind of some standards is really what is the focus.
Yeah, those are great suggestions. So AI is taking over the world and supposedly taking over all the jobs, but thankfully AI will never cut the grass or clean a dirty toilet, right, in our world. What's your take on AI and the property preservation and inspection space today? And what's your thoughts on how to adopt it if our users haven't adopted it, and risks to avoid? Let's start with Kayla.
Like you mentioned, there are just jobs that AI cannot take over. They're not going to be, cleaning toilets. But it would be helpful, or AI is helpful in having like a digital landscape to harvest the data, to train our systems, and to make our lives just a little bit easier. If we can have a tool that, say, points out damages in a house or can help us put together a more comprehensive bid. As you mentioned earlier, sometimes you notice that your contractors are not really bidding everything. If they could talk through what they're looking to bid for and then potentially have an estimating software put that into like a full comprehensive bid, that would be, I think, great. I think that those types of tools could be helpful to move our industry along, but I don't think that it can fully replace the human aspect, whether it's in the field or in the office, talking to code officers, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's great. Eric, what are your thoughts on how to utilize AI by our field members and risks to avoid?
Yeah, I think from a standpoint of what's out there, I think, where AI can be really helpful is identification of damages. I mean, especially as it relates to a lot of our properties that we come upon. Once upon a time, I think people believed that when you went into a vacant home, it was really a vacant home. It's far from it, right? Probably 85 to 90% of them there's significant amounts of material left over, personals, those types of things, or debris, and trying to be able to kind of move around that and see all the damages that need to be documented, either as an inspector coming in as after the property's vacant or the first time that the property preservation contractor comes out there. Getting all those things are absolutely mission critical. And then those things can be shared amongst, an inspector or a contractor reports these types of damages, alerting the inspector to those types of damages, and then kind of being able to understand whether or not the situation is getting worse. If the mold is growing or something, or discoloration is growing. So again, I think there's a lot of AI related tools there that can help and can automatically take that and ingest that information from a photo and be able to make that decision. On the downside, I think, or the concern as it relates to that is that 100% reliance on a complete bid generation and everything without any kind of human oversight we're not there yet. At some point, maybe we will be. But again, having, a person take a look at that, having the person in the field to validate the situation. But I think, like I said, that's really where there's a really big lift for AI for the industry.
That's great. In our day-to-day experience with AI, where we find it to be very helpful, as Eric had mentioned earlier, is the lack of uniformity between systems communicating with our vendors and our clients. So AI has proven to be a really great tool in ingesting those different requirements and then exporting a standard format for our contractors and our employees. And then likewise the same, ingesting reports from the contractors and then exporting a consistent format for the specific client needs. So I think there's lots of opportunity to help us now with AI in addressing those challenges with inconsistent technology platforms across all the different players in our industry. So that's fantastic. You guys, thank you so much for helping talk through technology pros and wish lists for the future for our membership. I hope to see you on a future podcast.
Thanks,
Thank
Kelly.
you.
Thanks, Eric.
Thanks.
Thank you for watching and or listening. Please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel or wherever you get your podcasts. We look forward to next Wednesday, when we unlock our next episode.